Hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you can stay consistent with your marketing and reach more customers. My name is Penny, and I want to talk to you about a content development process that does more than just tell you that this is what you do to create engaging content. The idea with your marketing is to help you reach customers, is to make more sales, is to grow your business. So there's more than just looking for engagement and how many people that you can get to click on your posts. And if you want to learn more about how all of this content development process can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love it if you would hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below in the description box, you are going to see several links. One of them is for the Content Prompt Playbook. This is a free download, and it's for those of you who are already using AI tools but just need some guidance. It's going to give you 20 plug and play prompts that you can use, and it's going to help you share this data and this information to Chat GPT or your AI tools, whichever you're using, so that it gets what you need for your marketing messages. Another link that you're going to see is that you can join us in the Marketing Strategy Collective program. We just had a live session this morning where I was talking about AI and marketing. So when you join us, you can participate in these types of things, and you can learn how to do this in a supportive group online space. You see the links below, you know what to do to learn more. Alrighty, so let's get into today's video, because we're going to be talking a little bit about AI, but mostly what I want to talk about is how you are using AI, how you are working in your business. Because when you sit down to do your work in the morning and you open up your laptop and you look at your content calendar or whatever you do, how do you decide what deserves your attention? And I think for most small business owners, and I heard this morning in our session, is I work on whatever feels most important, most urgent. And I get that, especially if you are the only person that is handling everything. And if there's a fire, you got to put it out. And I understand the fire. But the problem with that is always focusing on what's urgent doesn't always create growth in your business. In fact, one of the most important things you can do for your business is actually something that's not urgent. And I want to introduce you to something that I call the CEO dashboard. No, don't worry now. I'm not going to talk about some complicated software or expensive reporting tools. What I'm talking about is you are the CEO. You are the one in charge here. So I want to talk about simple daily and weekly decision-making system that's going to help you focus on the activities that are going to move your business forward, instead of always just trying to put out fires. And then when you put out the fires, you think, hey, look, I did this today. I did this, I got this done. But then at the end of the day, what did you do to move your business forward? Let's talk about this today, because I think in this scenario that I'm describing right now, this is where AI can become incredibly valuable. And not because you want it to tell you what to do every minute of the day, but because it can help you think like a CEO instead of reacting like an overwhelmed business owner trying to put out a daily fire. So one of the biggest shifts that I see between businesses that stay stuck and the ones that are actually seeing momentum is how the owner is using their time and spending their attention. Because I think that most business owners spend their day reacting. A customer email comes in and they respond. A payment comes in and you're like, yay, and you process it. Someone messaged you on LinkedIn. You stop what you're doing and you answer it, because if they took the time out to message you, it must be important. You're constantly moving, you're constantly working, and you're always crossing things off your list. And by the end of the day, You got a lot of things crossed off your list and you got a lot done. But let me ask you this. Did stopping for that customer email, did processing that payment, did you stop everything for that LinkedIn message? When you did all those things, did that help you move your business forward? Now, I'm not saying that a customer email or a LinkedIn message isn't a sales opportunity, because it is. But being busy isn't the same thing as moving your business forward, because that's what a CEO does. A CEO doesn't just put out fires. A CEO doesn't look at their calendar and say, how much can I check off and cross off today. The CEO is talking about tomorrow's growth. And I'm not talking about the ones, we're thinking CEO, boardroom, $1 billion decisions. That's not me. I'm a small business owner. No. I get that. I'm not thinking that you are going to make millions of dollars here. What I mean is that you are intentionally creating time to work on the future of your business as the CEO, not just today's checklist. So I think what people hear when I say CEO dashboard, they're thinking that I mean like charts and graphs, and that's not what I'm building here. What I want you to think about is creating a CEO dashboard that's really like, what's the word I'm looking for? Decision making. It's a daily decision making framework. And it's designed to answer one simple question. If I only accomplished 4 meaningful things today, what would have the biggest impact on my business? That's a good sentence right there. Notice I didn't say, what can I get done today? What can I check off on my list? I asked, what creates growth? And those are 2 different questions. So your CEO dashboard is going to help you separate growth activities from just the stuff that you manage every single day. And the stuff you manage every day, it still matters, because these things need to get done, especially if you are the one person who is managing everything. And I totally get that. But if managing and maintenance is all you ever do, this is why your business is exactly where it is and why it's going to stay there. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about how you can build the idea of this CEO dashboard. Because every morning, before you get into your inbox, before you pull up social media, what you're going to do is you're going to ask yourself these 4 questions. And I'm going to pause after each one of them. Question number 1. What's my most important priority today? What I mean by that is it's not the task that's going to take you the longest or the easiest thing that you can accomplish really quickly. Your most important one. Maybe it's finishing a proposal. Maybe it's preparing for a workshop. Maybe it's working on something going on with your product that needs to be refined. The question isn't what has to get done. It's what creates the most value and growth and sales if I complete it today. All right, question number 1. Let's go on to number 2. What's one relationship action I can take? And we're talking relationships with regards to your business. I want you to understand that. Because this is where marketing starts to become more proactive instead of reactive. So when you're asking yourself, who can I connect with today? Maybe you're following up with a prospect. Maybe you're checking in with a past client. Maybe you're thanking a referral partner. Maybe you're commenting on LinkedIn because you're trying to get connected to somebody there and learn more about their business. Maybe you're sending a networking message. None of these things require hours and hours of work, but what they do is they strengthen the business relationships, and these are the things that lead to future business and sales. All right. Question number 3. What's one marketing action? That just sounds so general and broad, right? There's a lot of marketing actions. But I think that what happens is if I was to ask you this, you immediately default to thinking about creating more content, right? Marketing action. I'm going to do something on LinkedIn, or I'm going to be on Instagram, or I got to figure out what I'm going to do on TikTok this week. You're thinking about content, aren't you? No, no, no. Question number 3. I want you to broaden your thinking. A marketing action is more than just creating content. It could be improving copy on your website, especially on your product page. It could be answering a customer question through an email. It could be reviewing your top performing content and figuring out how you could repurpose it, or is it another topic that you could do? It could be updating the sales page copy for your call to action, or maybe you're writing an email, or you're optimizing your profile on LinkedIn. See, marketing isn't just about creating content. It's about improving the way that we communicate with each other. It's about making sure that our information is being out there and being shared with potential customers and clients that we're looking for. And one of the best things that happen is when things like this, like our website, when our blog post, our LinkedIn profile is doing the work for us. But a marketing action now takes a step out to take a look at not just creating content, but what are marketing actions that are going to improve communication with people. All right, and now, question number 4. What's one improvement action? Now, this is where you get to ask, how can I make my business better than it is yesterday, and how can I make it better today? Not dramatically different. What's something you can do? Maybe it's simplifying your onboarding program by getting a new a program that's going to help you incorporate your calendar and the onboarding process of the emails that get sent. Maybe it's reviewing customer feedback. Maybe it's improving your pricing page or creating a reusable template. These are the small things that we do, but they compound over time. And the more we do them and the more we compound them and they go and grow, they make your business easier to run and easier to grow. So let's bring AI into this conversation. Because you notice I didn't say, talking about the CEO dashboard, I did not say, hey AI, I want you to plan my entire day. No. I wanted you to use AI to help you think strategically. And you can use a prompt that says something like, help me build a daily CEO checklist focused on growth instead of busy work. My business does this. We sell this product, and these are the customers that I am talking to. If I want to continue growing my business with this market base, what is a daily CEO checklist that's focused on growth and sales that I could be doing? Give it context like that. Tell it what type of business you own, your biggest goal this quarter, how much time you realistically have to get stuff done. Where's the spaces where you feel stuck? The more content you can provide, the more relevant the suggestions become. You're not outsourcing your thinking with AI, you're expanding it. And I think that one of the biggest mistakes that people are making, and it's funny because this is one of the things that came up in our conversation when we were talking about AI and marketing at the live session, is that people make with AI is they stop after their first response. And then they copy and paste it and they say, yep, this is good, let's go. But I want you to think about it in another way. I want you to use AI more as a strategic conversation. For example, think about it like this. So let's say that it's building your checklist, right? And you could say, I see you've given me points 2, 3, and 4 that require me to purchase a program so that I can get these things done. How do I get this done? What is a habit that I could create over the long term that's going to show me the biggest ROI from this, return on investment? That's a completely different question than what should I be working on today? Because now you're thinking beyond today's task list. You're asking about behaviors, you're asking about habits that you can do. And AI will follow up and tell you the things that you need to be doing and give you this list. But when we get real specific and we give it the context, it really becomes more in tune to your capacity, to your business, to your goals. And that's a completely different question than what should I do today? Because here's the thing. When you're asking it to follow up with prospects, when you're asking it to redesign your website or review your marketing metrics, every decision making gets better. And the insights that you'll receive from this and the habits that you can develop through this will grow with your business over time. So let's move through this here. I want to talk through this real quickly and wrap this up for you, because one of the big things that I want to talk about with this CEO dashboard is this. I don't want you to think about this dashboard in a way that makes it so complicated, so intricate, that it's impossible to use. Keep it simple. 4 questions. You could put them on a Google Doc. You could put them in a Trello file. You can put them in a note. You don't have to make this very formal and fancy. I'm going to repeat these questions again. Question number 1, what's my most important priority today? Question number 2, what's one relationship action I can take today? Question 3, what's one marketing action? And 4 is what's one improvement action? Those 4 questions make it simple. It does not need to be a big fancy thing that is just so huge and bulky and complicated that you will come up with every excuse not to do it. 4 questions. Put it down on one Google Doc. Do it 5 minutes every single morning. 5 minutes on Friday. That could be enough. That's all you need. The goal isn't to create a productivity system. The goal is to help you create a more strategic system, and a system to remind you to keep leading in your business instead of reacting to it. So I want to leave you with one more thought. I know that a lot of you out there, and especially if you've made it this far into the video, you are probably one of those people who start your day by asking, what do I need to get done? But for those of us who are treating our business like a CEO, who are really seeing the potential of how AI can help us grow our businesses, are asking a different question. What deserves my attention because it's going to create future growth and sales? That one question changes everything, because suddenly your day isn't driven by urgency and what fire am I putting out. It's driven by intention. And that is a huge mindset shift that you can do when you're working in your business and you're leading your business. So tomorrow morning, before you open up your inbox, before you log into that social platform, before you check anything, you start reacting to everybody else's priorities. I want you to take 5 minutes and think about how you could build out your CEO dashboard. Ask yourself those questions. What's my most important priority? What's one relationship action I can take? What's one marketing action that strengthens my marketing? What's one improvement that will make my business better? And then open AI and say, help me build a daily CEO checklist focused on growth instead of busy work. And don't just stop there. Follow it with what habit would create the biggest long-term return. Because the businesses that are going to continue to grow are usually doing like 100 things every single day. But they're constantly focused on the few things that matter the most. But when you know what to focus on, Your consistency becomes easier. When you know what to focus on, it becomes a habit. And when the habit moves into something that you're doing every single day, and every single day you're doing something to grow your business, then the growth becomes more predictable and it turns into momentum. And that will continue pushing you down the road and to lead to more sales. So if this episode is starting to give you ideas to learn new skills for your marketing, I would love it if you would hit that like button. And then do me a favor and hit the share button. Share this with another business owner, especially if you know somebody who has been struggling with how to use AI to help them grow their business. But if you want to take this further and you want to join us inside the Marketing Strategy Collective, and you want to join these live sessions and have these conversations, and you want to learn how to turn these ideas into a marketing plan that's going to drive you sales, the link is below. You know what to do to learn more. It's because you are magnificent, my friend. And let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.